I'm going to give Virgin Island a forum. Manny back here with another video on the CascadeScents fragrance station, and this one's going to be on my Creed fragrance tier list. But before we get started, I just want to throw it out there. As always, 500 likes and a random subscriber in the comments will have their comment pinned to the top, as you'll be the lucky recipient of an assorted niche fragrance sample pack. So please like, subscribe, and comment if you want to be eligible. The least I could do for you guys is this giveaway, so hopefully I can give back to at least one of you. But with that being said, I think this one's going to be fireworks. This one's actually going to be on the House of Creed, a lot of y'all's favorite brand. But to keep it a buck with you, I'm actually going to omit a lot of stuff here. It'll be predominantly the unisex and men's mainline Creed offerings. So no women's, no Aqua Original, no Royale exclusives, no store exclusives. But if you feel like I should have included them, please tell me in the comments. I just don't think a lot of y'all are familiar with enough of them already. And or for myself, I'm just not that enthused for enough of them / feature them enough. So I just think it would be bad if I did that. That being said though, we do have a lot of stuff to get through, so we might as well kick it off backwards. This time with everyone's favorite vacation scent, Virgin Island water. And for them, even at retail, even European retail, which is, believe it or not, half the price of US retail, I still think this kind of smells cheap to me. I know a lot of boozy lovers rate it high for the summer because there aren't a lot of summer boozy frags that can hold a candle to do this, but to me it's just meh. For the rum, the citruses, the coconut, that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm a little bit more jaded as a former bartender, but I just don't see this smelling as quote-unquote luxury. Before its time, it was definitely unique, so I'm going to give points for uniqueness here. I'm going to give Virgin Island a C tier. All right, next up we have Viking, and honestly for them, I think Viking's unnecessarily one of the most overpriced scents out there. Out of anything here, Creed-wise, I think it smells the most mainstream as far as maybe 30 years ago with its minty and aromatic style. That being said, and at least in my country of Canada, I do love how I'm able to regulate the spray count here for just about any season. You know, more sprays for the intense cold, less for the intense warmth. So evaluation wise with how pricey it is, but I do like its functionality, but unfortunately it doesn't capture me enough emotionally. I still think Viking's pretty good, to be honest. It's gonna get a B tier. All right, moving on, next up we have Taba Roll Millésime. And for him, you know, Taba Roll's pretty unique for its time as far as an autumnal kind of fresh tobacco scent, but unfortunately for it, I just don't find it to be that pleasant. When it comes to a warmer scent that I need for the fall and or autumn, I'm actually going to look for warmer than this, to be honest. And it's not like I like reaching for this during the warm weather itself when I want maybe a more fleeting scent. I'm just trying to figure out where this thing fits in. I don't think it's bad, and I do give points to Creed for trying here. It's just not remotely for me. So you know what? Taba Roll Millésime gets a D tier. All right, moving on, we have Silver Mountain Water. And for them, I think you know if you've been watching this channel for a minute, SM Water's probably the fragrance that I spam the most out of this brand, but for good reason, because of its austere nature, which I really like. I find it so enchanting with how breathtaking the inky, airy, altitude nature of this scent overall is. Good lord, I feel like a sociopath saying that. Versatile as hell too, and I love its performance for what I need it for. I get pretty good longevity and meager projection, which is more often than not what I'm after for a scent like this. And to be honest, any kind of fault I have for it, I'm pretty much nitpicking at that point. So you know what? Silver Mountain Water definitely gets an S tier. All right, moving on, we have Royal Water now, and RW I feel like is one of the most underwhelming Creeds, at least for me out there. Like, it just doesn't remotely register an emotional response with me. Like, for any occasion I'd wear this in, I'd rather wear the aforementioned Silver Mountain Water. Like, the minty, juniper, and citrus accords here are nice, it's just, I'm trying to like it, but I just can't. As a result, I think I have to give Royal Water an E tier. All right, moving on to the next Royal, we have Royal Oud. And you know what? Royal Oud, for a fresher, woody scent that is slightly powdery with the aromatics and whatnot, I think is actually pretty good. I think it definitely shines with the cedar note, and as a result, it's an amazing autumnal option. Lots and lots and lots of cedar in here, but I'm still trying to figure out why it's called Royal Oud. Maybe in some fleeting Creed form it is in here, but I just feel like it's more one kind of wood than the other. I find that to be a little dishonest. So you know what? I'm actually going to give Royal Oud a C tier. Otherwise, I'd probably go with B tier if Creed wasn't so icky about the oud. Anyway, we might as well move on to the last Royal. Here we go with Royal Mayfair. And Mayfair is a Nash rehash of the initial Windsor release. Very floral, very green. I do like how it's especially herbal / coniferous, which I think is unique out of the current Millicene line here. But part of the Creed charm for me is the feeling of timelessness, and I still feel like whenever I do reach for this, I feel ancient myself. Like, that's a welcome feeling for me from other brands for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I started with the nostalgia from like Chanel and I'm okay with it there. But when I smell something like this, I feel like I want more of a modern touch. I don't think I'm getting enough of that here. Whenever I consider trying to reach for the scent when I'm at the store or something like that, I always feel either underdressed and or too immature. But I do still think that's very respectable. So you know what? Royal Mayfair, I can't give worse than a D tier. Moving on, next we have the originals now. So here we go with Original Vetiver. And honestly for them, it's a nice green soapy scent, which is more reliant on a woody vetiver dry down than, you know, maybe Mugler or Cologne or something like that. But I still definitely feel like it's trying to emulate a scent like that. And for Creed to call it original, I think is such overcompensation. I just think that's a whack move for a brand that claims to be as prestigious as it is in Creed. So you know what? Original Vetiver, you smell hella good, but you're going in F tier. Moving on, we have the other original in Original Santol. And let's just say we're probably leaning that way too here. Yes, it smells like a slightly more upscale version of Individual and or Yelp but it doesn't smell remotely like the price tag that's listed for even at European retail, which is like half the price of US retail. And then on top of that, just like Original Vetiver, again, Original Santol, super dishonest, super overcompensation. If there was an FF tier, I'd probably give it that, but since I don't have that, we're gonna go with F tier here too. Next up, we have Neroli Sauvage, and this one is super overlooked. And it's a beautiful citrus floral. I love how this one opens, but other than that, there's not a lot of backbone to this scent, which is really disappointing. Like even the other fleeting Creeds that I feel super strongly about, I do like dry down wise too. It's just, this one's pretty forgettable after the opening, and the opening's only like, I don't know, 15 minutes tops for me. It radiates beautifully for that time, and then it just freaking quickly fades. As a result, it just feels like another Neroli scent that lasts no more than 2 hours, and I think it deserves an E tier because of that. Now here we go with Millésime Impériale. Arguably, this is historically my favorite Creed here. I find the salty watermelon opening to be so mouthwatering. Truly, I'm a slut for this one because I really don't care about having to spray this 2 or 3 different times a day. I look forward to every time I spray it just because it's in my top 5 openings ever, to be honest. On top of that, if I don't have access to the bottle at any point, even though I did spray it a few hours ago, I do like the light musky dry down as well. And with the saltiness, I just think it's also to die for. And in the heat, it radiates beautifully off of me, so I really can't hate on this scent for what it's meant to do. That's be a quintessential hot weather scent. So I think it's perfect for the summer as a result, and perfect for the S tier. And moving on, we have Himalayas, so the original player from the Himalaya. I believe this is Erwin Creed's first scent that he actually worked on too. Shout outs to him and Olivier. It's one of those guilty pleasure scents because yes, it takes me back to high school with its Axe vibe, but I ain't remotely trying to pay whatever discount even is for this. It just smells cheap, but it has a vibe that I low-key appreciate. Yes, I still think the storytelling is kind of on point because it is somewhat evocative of Altitude. I do like its citrus musky vibe as a result, but I just feel like Silver Mountain Water is that much better in every occasion that I reach for this one in. As a result, I think I have to put this thing in D tier. It's just truly a guilty pleasure scent for me, although I feel like it could be a little bit worse. But anyway, we have another one to move on to, and it's a lot of y'all's favorites. This one's called Green Irish Tweed, aka Blacked.com. And to be honest, because of the fact that this is the OG of this DNA, I do not think that it has aged well in the mainstream. I have at least a handful of friends who wear Cool Water, for example, and when I want to reach for something grassy, I'm really not feeling myself when I feel like reaching for this amongst them because they know it, or they know it in an inferior form. And yes, some other scents on this list have been since cloned by Western brands too, but those clones aren't as notorious as Cool Water, you know? Like Cool Water is ubiquitous with just the words men's cologne. As a result, this Verbena King, which could very well be an S tier fragrance, I just think is okay with being an A tier. And moving on to another, and for me, it's probably my most overlooked because I figured more people would like this scent, but I guess they don't. This one is called Rolfa, and of course this is their family vacation scent, and honestly, I'd reach for this thing in vacation too. This is the perfect daily yachting getaway scent. Like I can picture myself just chilling on the boat, kind of lying down or something on a towel, just booling, and I'm radiating with this Arofa stuff. If you like citruses, if you like salts, great. I think this one might be for you then, especially if you're, for whatever reason, not into the salty watermelon vibe of Millésime Impérial. So if you're looking for something a little bit more conventional and old school way, this might be for you too. But the dry down just isn't as sexy for me for whatever reason. And I don't think that this thing's A tier or better, although I might emotionally feel that way. So you know what? We're gonna put Arofa in B tier. Narrowing the list down, we have Bois de Portugal now. And also this one's kind of forgotten or overlooked too. But if you're into classic smelling fragrances, I think this aromatic sandalwood is pretty hard to hate. Like if I actually wore suits more often and was maybe 10 years older, I think again, I'd probably like this one a lot more too. But since that's not the case, you know what, I'm just gonna respect this for what it is. And I actually have a lot of respect for Bois de Portugal here. I honestly think I can't go lower than A tier. Yeah, and for him, we are almost there. Here we go with Aventus Cologne. Now here's where things get sticky, but here we go. I wanna send a quick shout out to my friend Casual Fragrances in the USA. Really appreciate it for sending me a sample so I can furthermore test this at home and not just at the store. But I also have to apologize, Chris, because I can't even co-sign paying for this at the discount or European MSRP level. Like it smells so designery to me on the level of Viking, but I feel like the functionality of it is even lower, because if I'm going to pay to smell like a shell of Aventus itself, I might as well spend the extra money to buy Aventus itself. Yeah, of course Aventus has those crazy batch variations and whatnot, but this is worse than all of them in my personal opinion. Pleasant AF, and I don't hate it, but I do hate its price point for what it is. So honestly, I'm gonna go with a nice E tier for Aventus Cologne. And last but not least, here we go in Aventus. Yes, it's very unprofessional for a Creed to have this much variation in a scent, but to be honest, any variants of Aventus still perform wonderfully off of my skin, whether it's more smoky or pineapple-y. I'm just about Aventus as far as the fragrance itself. Now, it's not going to check the boxes for me emotionally like a Millésime Impérial or a Silver Mountain Water. Like those fragrances transport me in my mind somewhere, you know? And I really appreciate that, of course, but I do also appreciate how versatile this scent is. And since I still don't have any issues with its performance, I still have to respect the pineapple and smokiness of Aventus overall. Still a hell of a positive feedback getter too. So you know what? Aventus is S tier. And you know what, Forum? I think I'm pretty happy with this. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't lynch me if you disagree as a result. I myself love the tier list format because of how the tiers are positioned. It almost forces you to be honest, because otherwise you look like a wuss. But you know what? I'm going to challenge any creator here to also do this tier list. So if you folks want access to this tier list too, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. I'd love to see what you guys come up with on video too. But even if you're not a creator, please engage in this too, Forum. Feel free to tweet me your results at CascadeScents. I'd really appreciate that as well. Or you can agree with me or agree to disagree with me here in the comments too. I'd love to see what you guys come up with again. And as always, 500 likes and a random subscriber in the comments will have their comment pinned to the top, as you'll be the recipient of an assorted niche fragrance sample pack. So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you've yet to. Also hit the bell for ongoing notifications if you want to be the first to be accessing some of these videos. But until then, I think that about does it. So thank you again for the ongoing support. Take care, peace out, bye. Wear your fragrances.